Hi everyone. Hey, good morning. It's Paul.DiGrigoli. This series is going to be a great series. The name of the program is called 10 Core Values of a Winning Salon. So I want to emphasize 10 core values of a winning salon because each one is extremely important, and I have to tell you, I'm going to go through them reasonably and rapidly to make you understand exactly what's going on with the 10 core values of a winning salon. Now, there's a lot of information. I want you to take some notes. I want you to digest each and every one of them because when we come back from this coronavirus, we are going to win the game. There is no question about it. We are going to be so busy. It's going to be unbelievable when I tell you. And I also want to say this as well, is that you can relate this information to any business that you're operating, any business that you're doing. It doesn't have to pertain to the hair industry alone. It could pertain to each and every business that you possibly do. So I want to start with the 10 core values of a winning salon. And you might think the reason why there's 10 core values because things you do and live by every day create this 10 values of a winning salon. So I want to talk about them. So number one, what makes a salon run? What makes a business run? And I want you to keep in mind, it's not your baby, it's your business. Your business gives you benefits and it gives you results. It's not your baby. Your babies are at home. And I think that's important. A lot of times we have a misconception of really what our business is all about. Our business is to give us benefits and results. So what makes a salon run and what makes a business run? And let's talk about them. So first of all, location, location, location. And I know you've heard this over and over again, but it's so important to have visibility to the consumer. So I'll give you an example. So my building is 10,000 square feet, both north and south. There's 25,000 cars that go by my building a day. So what they say is that basically, if you look at the statistics, they say 1 out of 10 or 2 out of 20 that actually acknowledge your business, okay? Now, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to stop and they're going to become a student or they're going to become a client, but they see it every single day. Repetition is the mother of skill. So location, location, location. Time that we are open and time that we are closed. Now, I want you to keep in mind that during this coronavirus, your time is going to change. Okay, the time that you're open, the time that you're closed. There's going to be a time that you're going to be probably more open than you are closed to accommodate your clients. I'm a firm believer that it's going to be just like Christmas time when it comes time for us to open up. Like in Massachusetts, we're not ready to go until March 18th. And we got phase 1, 2, 3, and 4 that we have to go by, that we have to follow the protocol with. Okay, so every state is different. But I want you to be ready, and a lot of this information, we're going to talk about some bullet points about the coronavirus of how to get ready for it, okay? And then the other thing is to be available for your client, whether you're in this turbulent times, and we all are with the coronavirus, be available for the client. Cleanliness. We're going to have more cleanliness than we've ever had before in our entire life. We are going to have cleanliness, and I want this to continue. I just don't want this to stop. I don't want you to go out and invest in Barbicide. I'm going to talk a little bit about bleach and how you can use bleach as a cleanser and what the consistency is and so on and so forth, okay? So current trends, both spring and summer and fall and winter. That's when the trends go hand in hand. And one of the ways to model the trends is you look at the clothes. Sometimes when the clothes go, wide, then our hair is very slim. You know what I mean? If our hair comes out wider, then our clothes are very slim. So it goes hand in hand, but it depends. So I think it's very important that you have the trends of the cuts, of the colors, of the cuts, of the ombres, of the balayage, whatever you're doing, stay with the current trends. And then your most important asset are your employees, and I want you to find out what makes them tick. And I think that's important. We're going to talk a little bit about that. People, and then we lose sight sometime of the fact how important a receptionist. Now, you could be a one-man band. You could answer the phone. You can play as a receptionist, but the receptionist is key, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, how important it is to train that particular person from the front desk, because I can tell you this, the first time they see a client, they're the last time they see the client. They're by far the most important person in the salon. Okay? And then obviously pricing could vary. It's different, depends on your area. Okay? And then the last thing is to have fun. Make sure that you're having fun. And you can set a goal for yourself. So once you get back to work, you can do a 5-year plan. You can do a 10-year plan. You can peel it all the way back. You can do a 1-year plan. You know, where do you see yourself quarter 3, quarter 4? You know, when then you're going to get into 2021. Where do you see yourself? Really important. I know we neglect this. I know we hear it again and again and again, but you got to write it down. And if you don't write it down, then it's not going to come to fruition. So you must write it down. And then without customers, we have no salon, we have no business. And I want you to keep that in mind. It's amazing to think what it costs to obtain a new customer every single time they come in the salon. Whether they're a referral, whether they're a retention. I mean, it's expensive. It takes 4 visits in order for your client to be your client. That's what they say. And then after that, you start making a profit off of the client. Okay, so what makes a salon run? Them are all the things that make the salon run. And I think it's very, very important when you really think about it, all these components that really make a salon run. And remember what I said to you in previous programs, that you're truly not successful until your salon can run, and then it can run without you. Okay? Next, every client belongs to the salon. True or false? Now, you can answer this question. I can see your messages if you like to answer that question, but I'm going to answer it for you. I'm going to give you the answer. You can think about it, or you can send it to me, whatever you want to do. But every client belongs to the salon. Without clients, paychecks are not payable. So it's really important to treat every single client like they're your client and not your friend. You're in business to make money. You're in business to do what you want, when you want, whenever you want. Don't become held hostage to your business. I want you to think about your business is not your baby. It's your business. So I want you to think about that. Yes, you will have good clients. Yes, you will have difficult clients. Yes, you will have clients you will keep. Yes, you will have clients you will want to separate yourself from. There's no question about it. And I want you to think about that. You're not always going to hit a home run. You're not always going to please the client. You're going to please the majority of them, but 99% of the time, you're always going to have that 1 or 2 client that gives you the most difficulty, and she continues or he continues to do that. So you got to make that decision. Keep in mind, they are the boss. There's no question about it. Yes, you can fire them at any time that you want. Any given time that you want, you can let them go. And I have done that myself. I've been doing this for almost 4.5 decades. Have I let clients go before? And the answer is yes. They just didn't fit into our salon. Not that they're a bad person. They just didn't fit into our salon, even though we gave them to other stylists within our salon. You know what I mean? And the stylist would come to me, or they would come to my manager, and they would have this conversation with them. So you're not going to please every single client. If you come with a clientele, they are yours. There's no question about it. So if you decide that you want to hire somebody outside of your salon, they're going to bring a clientele with you, the one that have built the clientele, then they're their clients. There's no question about it. But if you get them from the salon, they belong to the salon. And I want you to understand that. A lot of times we have covenants not to compete, which is a whole different topic of talking about contracts and can you stop, someone from making a living? And the answer is no. I don't think you can. The guy in the black robe is not going to tell you that you can stop somebody from making a living. But, there is something to say from stealing or from taking something that doesn't belong to you. There's no question about that. So give them their clients. If they decide to leave, they didn't fit into your culture, and always remember this. Always hire not on someone because of their experience and because of their performance. You want to hire someone because they fit into your culture, and I think that's really important. Okay, if you get them from the salon, they belong to the salon, and always remember that it's the stylist, the client, and the name that pushes the salon, that really helps to build a clientele, that really helps to get the salon going. Okay, build a good relationship with your client. Build a fantastic relationship with the people that you work with. I know every single day is not going to be the same. Everybody's not going to be Mr. and Mrs. Positive every single day. You're going to have your fights, your struggles, your setbacks, your obstacles, your defeats, your disappointments every single day. But it's not what you do, it's how you handle the situation that really makes the difference. So I think that's kind of important. Okay? Price increase every October. So I want you to increase your prices every October. You know why? October 1st is the key. You can go up $1, you can go up $2, you can go up $3 right across the board. And by the way, there better be a surcharge when you decide to open your doors. You're going to have to buy gloves. You're going to have to buy a mask. You're going to have to buy gel. There's certain things that you're going to have to purchase to protect your staff and to protect your client. Someone has to pay for that. So I'd have to give it back to the client. Anywhere we go, we have to pass that buck back to the client. That's a question that you might want to ask me, but I would pass it back to the client, and I would charge, depending on what state you live in. Like Bobby Joe, for an example, if you live in Kansas City, then maybe $3 is sufficient. Like us in Massachusetts, we're going to have a surcharge, maybe $3, maybe $4. No more than $5. I spoke to a girl from San Diego. I spoke to Lower Gartland yesterday. They're going to charge $5. They don't think $5 is a lot of money. I feel in Massachusetts, maybe in Kansas City, is a lot of money. $5 for a surcharge. But I want you to think about it. I just don't want you to do it. I want you to think about it and see what it costs you to buy those certain things to protect your staff and to protect your client. Okay? Educate everyone. I don't care. When you go back to work and you start Q3, I want everybody to have some form of education. Whether it's a clipper cut, whether it's an ombre, whether it's a balayage, whether it's a female cut, whatever it might be, you have to continue your education. When you talk about motivation and you talk about what keeps people alive, people get bored out because they do the same thing over and over and over again. It's not something that they, continue to do for years and years after that. They get bored because they do the same thing over and over again. You got to break it up. You got to keep yourself alive. The more that you know, the more you can give. You can't give somebody something that you don't have. So constantly and continuously educate everyone. It will truly be the difference. It will be the difference maker for each one in your salon, including yourself. Okay? Your appearance, make sure your appearance is immaculate. Your hair, your dress, your makeup, your gel, guys or girls. Make sure you look like a superior product. You will be pleasantly surprised. You'll get more tips. And when it comes to raise your prices in October, you won't have any problem whatsoever. Okay? The cost of living goes up 2.5% every single year. Okay? So I want you to keep that in mind. Okay? So make sure that you have, you might want to have a dress code. A lot of the hair industry usually wears all black. You know that. You know what I mean? Black, 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 black. Everybody wears black. Okay? And teamwork. help one another out. And I think you need to have this conversation in your staff meetings that you're not doing this. You're not alone. You're doing it. You're one big heartbeat. You're not doing it individually. Okay? Even though you're behind a chair, even though stay in your own lane, I'm suggesting that you work as a team. That's what made the DiGrigoli salons so successful over the last, 4.5 decades, is that we worked as a team. No matter how much changes we saw, we all stuck together. Not that I didn't have anybody to leave me, because I had a lot of people leave me over the last 4.5 decades, but I bounced back. And the reason why I bounced back, because we all worked as a team, and we had the same core values as everybody within the salon. Okay, so every client belongs to the salon, and that's yes or no. Okay, number 3, who knows the client better? Is it the stylist or is it the salon owner? And I think when it goes hand in hand, depends on the client that you do. I think the stylist knows the client better, and then I think the owner gets to know them. I try to go around, I try to shake hands. There's a lot of clients that I've done many, many years ago that continue to come back to the salon, that other stylists, do their hair. So I'd say hi to them. Don't be afraid to say hi to them. Manage by walking around. I think we miss this. We're so used to being like a gerbil in a cage. We pump that chair up, we pump that chair up, we pump that chair up. We don't walk around. We don't associate. Some of us do. I'm not saying that all of us don't, but get yourself into a habit to manage by walking around, catch people doing things right. And I think that's really important when it comes to creating, one of your core values and one of your core beliefs, okay? Clients spend 22 minutes in the grocery store. They spend 44 minutes in the salon. You tell me who has an advantage, okay? So we have the advantage. 22 minutes in a grocery store. That's the average client that spends in the grocery store. They spend an average of 44 minutes in your salon. So it's the talking, it's the interaction, it's the communication, it's the great shampoo, it's it's moving them over to the station, it's lead guiding and directing them, it's giving them the undivided attention you should be giving them. There's no question why each and every one of you can't be getting the prices that you're getting because of your clientele. There's no way, or demographically, or where you live. I hear that all the time. We can't raise our prices probably because of the metropolitan area that we're in, or we're in a subdivision or whatever it might be. Baloney. If you're really good at what you're doing, you're providing value to people. That's what you're providing, value to people, but nothing else, okay? And I think that's important. But I want you to think about that. 22 minutes in the grocery store, 44 minutes they spend with you on an average. So you have an advantage over them. Don't lower your standards. Don't waffle back and forth. When you raise your prices in October, raise your prices, be proud of it. Don't forget the cost of living goes up 2.5%, okay? Business to business is people. And by the way, this is something that Southwest Airlines focus on. Business to business is people. And it is. I mean, you can take every single airline that you can possibly think of, right down from Delta, from Continental, from JetBlue, to Southwest, to American Airlines. And the reason why Southwest does so well, because they have continuing customer service. They love their customer. It's what the flight attendants do internally, and they're on time. Some of them are not, but most of them are on time. That's why they're leading the pack. Okay, so remember, business to business is people. So every client that comes in your door, whether it's your 9 o'clock client at night, or it's your 9:30, or it's your 8 o'clock client at nighttime, treat them the same. Okay? Great clients tell other people about you. So the best work that you do, BIW, be the best in the world, okay, at what you do. Don't forget, your autograph is on their head. They're going to go out there, they're going to associate, they're going to go to their work, they're going to go to their workplace, they're going to go to the grocery store, they're going to go to the mall, they're going to go everywhere. your autograph is on their head. And remember, great stylists, great haircuts, great color, beautiful color. They're going to go out and they're going to tell people about you. And that's really the key. Okay, that's when you know you became BIW, the best in the world. And maybe you only want to focus on just 3 things. Okay? Receptionists, they're the most important person in the salon. I always say they're like quality control. They're the first ones to see the client on the front end, and on the back end, they're the last one to see the client. They get to know the client just as well as you do. Know their name. That's probably one of the most important words in the English language is someone's name. Repeat it again and again and again and again. Okay, that's number 3. So who knows the client better? Okay, number 4. Okay, all employees are the key. Okay, now whether you're a team-based salon, whether you're a booth renter, whether you're a suite owner, okay, they're called independent contractors. Always remember that culture is the key. How well you treat another individual. If you look at Tony Hsieh, Zappos, he sold that company for $1 billion to Amazon. Their corporate office is in Las Vegas. When you go to Las Vegas, I encourage you to go to Zappos. Go visit their facility. Go see how they run their organization. It's totally amazing. And it's all about how well they treat the customer. So if you treat the customer well, they'll continue to come back again and again and again and again and again. You can have all these tactics that you want, but when it comes down to the customer, it's how well they feel. When they pick up that handheld mirror and they look at the front and they look at the back and they say to themselves, this is the best haircut I've ever gotten. You are amazing. You are fantastic. Your tip just went from $15 to $25. So take care of your customer, okay? How you act, how you dress, what you say, how you say it. Words are really important. You've heard me say this before. 7% are words. 35% is your voice. It's your tonality. And 55% is your physiology. And that's a fancy word of the way you move your body. So make sure what you say and how you say it is a reflection of who you are. Okay? What would the atmosphere be like? What would the atmosphere be like if there was harmony? When everybody comes back to work, and everybody wants to go back to work. I don't care what industry you're in. Everybody wants to go back to work. But how are you going to act? You're going to talk about the coronavirus. You're going to talk about the individual that had it. Maybe some of you had friends that have had it, that have died. God love their soul. Okay? Or someone that's really sick. It's not a joking matter. We don't take this as seriously as take it. But be positive. Be uplifting. Be excited. You can't change the past. The past is over. You can use the past as a school or you can use it as a club. I always use it as a school. Okay? What would the atmosphere be like? So make sure it's a positive atmosphere. Together, you're better. Work together as a team. Help one another out. You know what I mean? I can't do it by myself. I have to be surrounded by great people all the time, not just once in a while. And I'm going to tell you, it makes a big difference. It really does. Number 4, all employees are the key. So take care of your employees. Find out what makes them tick. Fill their needs. Always remember this. People don't leave salons. People leave people. Okay? Number 5. Okay? How important is the rest of the team? Now, when you talk about the rest of the team, I'm not talking about the stylist. I'm not talking about the junior stylist. I'm not talking about juniors or masters or elites or the artists. I'm not talking about that. How about the receptionist? The receptionist, it requires training. If they haven't have any training, when you hire somebody, you should hire somebody that's been in retail before. You should hire somebody that had some form of telephone training, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're booking appointments. They're talking on the phone. They're having conversation with clients A receptionist, without question, is the most important person in the salon. And here's my recommendation. Overtrain. They might be getting sick of your voice. They might be getting sick of training, but do it again and again and again and again until they do it without even thinking about it. And I know it's a lot easier said than done, but you gotta find the time. You just can't throw a person in that position. You can't just say, oh, my mother-in-law has been doing it for years and she'll take over and I need somebody and so on and so forth. I'd rather you answer the phone yourself or someone else in the salon answer the phone. Okay? Unless they worked in retail, unless they worked on the phone or they had some kind of phone system, that's who I would hire. We seem to overlook the receptionist, which is by far the most important person in the salon. Receptionist starts from the beginning and as you all know, is the ending as well. Okay? Don't forget about the floor janitor, the electrician, the IT person, the maintenance, the plumber, all very, 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 very important people. It's extremely important to understand you need all these people in order to make your business move forward. I don't care who it is. Take care of these people. Say hello to them. Ask them what their price is going to be. It's nice to have them for a long period of time. I have to tell you, my IT person is unbelievable. I mean, he's there on a dime. He's a brilliant individual. He knows his craft inside and out, backwards and forward. The same with my electrician. The same with my floor cleaner, maintenance. Same with my plumber. You know, I have a gentleman, his name is Gary, and he comes in and he checks in. He knows everybody in the salon. I make sure he knows everybody's salon. He has a key to the building. He has a code to the building, and he knows and he understands. And that's really, really important. So make sure how important it is to know the rest of the team is number 5. Number 6, tips for smart marketing. And I have to tell you, marketing has changed a lot. And I can't emphasize enough to go back to the basics. We're on our feet all day. We're sitting down. And I don't even really care what business that you're in. You got to take care of the customer like there's no other. I know every customer is not going to be the same. It's not going to be a lot like you. But you got to take care of the customer. Customers make paychecks payable. So, tips for smart marketing. It's all changed, okay? We are doing things a lot different than we used to do. I think all of you know that. I don't care who you are, whether you're an independent contractor, whether you're a team-based salon, we're doing things a lot different. And you know what? I want to remind you that during this coronavirus, that clients are going to come in and make sure that you're paying attention to whoever the leaders are, whether they're the mayor, whether there's a governor, whether you watch, CNN, whether you watch Fox, whatever it might be, pay attention and make sure that you're following protocol when it comes to your customer, because they will determine whether or not you're on your A game and you're really paying attention to what you're doing. Don't go back to the norm. 85%, keep the pump pumping, and you see it. You see it with Coca-Cola. You see it with McDonald's. You see it with Southwest. You see it with Geico. They're constantly and continuously advertising. They keep the pump pumping, even when they're doing good. Don't say to yourself, I got enough stylists. Don't say to yourself, I got enough employees. Keep the pump pumping, because that's the name of the game. Okay? 2% of your gross sales. So I want to say this again. 2% of your gross sales should be put towards marketing. So just don't do it yearly, do it monthly, and do it quarterly so you know. And my recommendation, you don't have to advertise in October, November, or December. You're very, very busy those 3 times a month, unless you're doing some form of discount, unless you're giving something 50% or 75% away. I would stay away from that, because them are your busiest months. Okay? Now, that's just an opinion. That you can do whatever you want to do. COVID-19 and then the coronavirus, as far as marketing tips, I've given you some now, and I'm gonna give you some. I'm gonna continue to give you some. Cloth face covering is the best, not paper. So if you make something out of cloth, I think it's the best. They claim it's the best to keep the germs away from the other individual. Okay, fever should not be above 99 degrees. Cough should be 59% to 89%. And then fatigue should be at 44 to 70%. Okay. What we're going to do is that we have thermometers that we're going to test the client. Now, there are thermometers that they don't touch the client. They're infrared, and they go to the forehead, and we can see what their temperature is. If they exceed, 99% degrees for fever, 82% for cough, and if they exceed 70% for fatigue, then we are going to let them go. We're going to ask them to go home. We're not going to take them. We're not going to take the chance. By the way, it takes 2 weeks to 4 to 6 weeks to recover if you do get the COVID virus. Okay. Can you use bleach disinfectant? Can you use bleach as a disinfectant? And the answer is yes. And I want to slow this down. So it's 5 tablespoons or 1/3 per gallon of bleach. Okay, so it's 5 tablespoons of bleach. Okay, or 1/3 cup of bleach to a gallon of water. Okay, and that's really important. So I want to repeat that again. So 5 tablespoons of bleach or 1/3 a cup of bleach to a gallon of water, and that would be your disinfectant. And like I said earlier, it takes 2 weeks to recover. That's your recovery time, or 4 to 6 weeks to recover. Okay, so that's number 6. That is tips for smart marketing. So always remember, it's going to change, but it's really up to you. Go back to the basics. Love your customer. Win all the time. That's the name of the game. Okay, number 7. 7 is secrets in recruiting great stylists. And I have to say this to you. If you want to grow your business, you got to have stylists. And a lot of you have the mentality that good stylists are not out there. And I have to tell you different. I think they are. Now, are you going to hit a home run every single time? No. If I hire, and I hire out of my school, and by the way, we just don't hire at our school. We hire at other schools as well. We hire at least 4 or 5 people, because out of the 4 or 5 people, maybe one of them are going to stay or 2 of them are going to stay. They just don't have patience. They want to get booked right away. They want to go on the floor right away, and they're not ready to go on the floor. So I think it's important to constantly recruit stylists. Don't hesitate. Don't wait. Okay? If stylists don't have fun, they will leave unconditionally. They will just leave. They got to have fun. You got to have a fun environment. And I think most of you are going to have a fun environment. You're going to keep things alive, and you're going to keep things serious. But yet again, you're going to have fun. Okay? Financially, education, and have a plan. One of the things that I find in most salons, when I consult salons, and I consult about 6 salons a year, and what I find is they don't have a plan, and they don't have education in sight, and they don't have education ready to go. And by the way, financially, they have absolutely no clue, because usually if you're the stylist, you're behind a chair, you got the biggest clientele, you're trying to make the most money, and you don't have time for any of these things. So my question to you goes back to the 10 core values of running a salon. Are you running the salon, or is the salon running you? So something for you to think about. And I said this to you before, that you're in business to make money. There's enough businesses out there that are out there to make money. That's the name of the game. You wouldn't be putting all this time into it if you didn't want to have the business that you have and you wanted to make money. Be organized, and I think that's the key. Don't give up. A lot of us give up. I mean, we get so stressed out that, over this coronavirus, a lot of us are stressed out. What can we learn from this? That's what you need to tell yourself. What can I learn from this? How am I going to grow? How am I going to develop? What are you doing with your time right now? Are you spending, at least an hour a day on yourself? Theoretically speaking, some of the great giants, they're up to 3 hours a day on their personal development. They grow like crazy. School, your clients, and career days. Find out. Don't say that you don't have time. Don't say that you're doing a client. You have to do a client. You have enough time where your client will understand your needs. And that's the name of the game. Now, don't get discouraged. When you get out there and you go to career days and you get in your car and you put your keys in the car and you get discouraged, don't get discouraged. You got to go to 5 or 10 career days or go to the schools, or ask your clients or ask your friends. Friends and family are really big when it comes to, a good clientele, a good client. Okay, that's number 7. And let me remind you the secrets of creating great stylists. And that's really kind of important. Okay, number 8, we're getting there on the finish line. Okay, number 8, learn how to increase your client retention. And I do not want you to lose sight of the fact of the value of a lifetime customer. The most expensive thing in business is obtaining a new customer. Once you get a new customer, I want you to wine and I want you to dine them and I want you to give them great customer service. I think they're really, really important. Okay? So if the stylist is not doing this, something is wrong when it comes to learn how to increase client retention. Get that client to come back again and again and again. And by the way, for every new client that comes in, it takes 4 visits in order for them to be your client. So it takes 4 visits. They're looking for trust. They're looking at the atmosphere. They're looking at what you're doing. They're looking at that you're paying attention. And I don't care if you only work 4 hours a day, or 6 hours a day, or 8 hours a day, or 12 hours a day. Make sure you treat your 9 o'clock client just as well as your 8 o'clock at night. And make sure whatever time that you're working, you're putting that effort in and you're there. You're not somewhere else. 2 things that destroy most hairdressers or increase their clientele. And one is a lack of communication. They're not talking to the client. And one of the ways that I want you to talk to the client is to get in front of the client. Don't get behind the client. Don't look through the mirror. Work with the client, in front of the client. And that's with any business. Find out what their needs are. Take away their pain. And I think that's really the key. Communication is number 1 as far as I'm concerned when it comes to the client's need. Ask them, do you prefer short hair? Do you prefer a mid-length? Do you prefer long? Do you wear your hair on your face? Do you wear your hair off your face? Do you use a blow dryer? Do you use a curling iron? How much time do you spend with your hair? That's going to give you an indication of where you're going to take this client. So communication is extremely important. The second thing is a lack of technical skills. You don't have the ability to execute whatever they're asking for. Or you're right on point. And I think most of you are right on point. So those are the 2 things that either enhance your clientele and build your clientele, or your clients will leave you that you didn't have great communication and you didn't have great technical skills. And by the way, if you don't have a great technical skill in a certain area that you want to do, keep working on it. There's enough people out there in our industry. There's 1.7 million licensed hairdressers in the United States. And they're all out there to help you. And I don't care who they are. It's amazing. They can teach you something that took them decades to learn. And they condense decades into days. And I think that's the name of the game. Okay? Retention really tells the story. So when you retain a client, you've had great communication skills. You've communicated very well with them. And technically, you're right on point. So retention really tells a story. if you're a great stylist, if you're going to continue to build a giant clientele, if you're going to become book solid. I think retention on the wheel is really so important because you really delivered like no other, if you will. Okay? So learn how to increase the clientele retention, and I think I want you to focus on retention, focus on the client. Okay? So number 8 is learn how to increase client retention. Number 9, and this one is a big biggie, and I am going to go slow with this. And if anybody wants this, I will send this to you. Just email me and let me know that you want this, and I will send this to you. And this is to avoid cash flow killers, and that's number 9. Avoid cash flow killers. And what are the cash flow killers that we encounter as we run our business while we're not making a profit? So number 1, salaries and commission should be at no higher than 52%. I basically have one stylist that's been with me for 32 years that actually gets 52%. The rest get 50% commission. And you're not going to run a business any lower than that. And I'm not criticizing anyone else, but other companies go to 35% or maybe 30%, and they work their way up to 35%, 40%, 45%, 50%. They work their way up. But that's up to the individual. That's up how you want to run your business. I'm only giving you what I've been doing for the last 47 years, and it really works, okay? So I'm going to go down the list. So salon salaries and commission at 52%, no more, okay? Supplies at 7.5%, okay? And then you have depreciation at 3.5%. Check with your accountant, check with your bookkeeper on this. Utilities should be no more than 4.5%. This is of your gross sales, okay? And then your insurance, when you look at this, insurance should be at 2.5%. Make sure you're not over-insured on your contents in your salon and your personal property. Interest carrying charges are at 1.25%, okay? And then legal and bookkeeping are at 1.25%. And then your fringe benefits are at 2.5%. That could be your education that you spend on your employees. Maybe you want to only pay for half in the beginning. Then as they stay with you a little bit longer, maybe 1, 2, 3 years, you want to pay 100%. But not 100% right out of the gate because they might not be with you. At least you got to have a 90-day probation period. I have a 90-day probationary period, which I do evaluation every 30, 60, 90 days. Then after the 90 days, I do a 6 months evaluation, then a year. Usually my executive assistant does this. Sometimes I get involved. If I'm home back in Massachusetts, I will get involved. But she knows the protocol when it comes to this. So I want you to do the same thing as well, if you'd like. Okay? Your rent should be at 7.5%. You should be paying no more, no less. When I do a lot of consultation, a lot of the salons are over 7.5%. And it's only because the simple reason is because you don't negotiate. And you got to negotiate, especially right now. You got to peel back. They got to peel back. They might move it up to the back end. But I would say let it be forgiven. You know what I mean? When it comes to the last 3 months, when we had no clientele, we didn't do any work. Maybe half is fair. Okay? But that's up to you. That's entirely up to you. Advertising, promotions, 1.5%. And remember, you can take this number. You can do 1.5% or you can do 2% of your gross sales at the end of the year. Laundry is 0.25. Repairs and maintenance is at 1%. Your telephone is at 1%. I see this again and again and again. I look through my phone bill. I see a lot of Christmas shoppers that call that try to trick the receptionist. Don't let people trick you in your subscription. Don't have 100 magazines in the reception area. Probably 10 really good ones. That's all you really need. You don't need everything else. Taxes and license fees at 6%, and dues and prescription, this is what I'm talking about, 0.5%. Okay? After everything is paid for, when you look at your profit, you should be at 6.5 to 7%. That's after you get paid too. And don't be greedy when it comes to your salary. Give yourself a salary, fair salary, and then you've got 6.5 or 7% over and above after everything that you see. Now, I gave you a pie graph where you see the biggest pie graph. That's the salaries and the commission, which is 52%. And then the purple is the rent, because that's a big expense as well. But I can talk to you about that. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about that. If you want to share that information with me to find out whether or not that individual is really gouging you or you're paying a fair amount, I can take a look at you. I'll give you my opinion, and then you can go from there. I'm not going to give you the answer. I'm going to give you my opinion. Maybe you're spending too much. Maybe I would tell you to stay right where you are. I'd see if you'd have a lease. Do you have a lease agreement? Are you at will? I'm not really sure. But remember, you're in business to make money. You're not in business just to be there because you love what you do. And I still love what I do. After 47 years, I still love cutting hair. I still love this industry more than ever. And I don't want it to be work. I want it to be fun for you. Okay? All right. So that's the avoid cash flow killers. And take a look at that. And I can send them to you as well. Okay. Number 10. And that is to learn how to reinvent your salon, because you will reinvent your salon for the first phases, I would say. Each governor, each mayor in different state, they have launched their program a lot quicker than anybody else, only because of the safetyness of the client and of the employee, if you will. But they're really trying to work it out, okay? So, number 10, learn how to reinvent your salon, okay? 100% take care of yourself, okay? Eat well, exercise, 65 ounces of water a day. I don't care that you drink coffee, whatever, but 65 ounces of water a day. Yes, you're going to pee, but when your pee is light and clear, you're healthy. When it's heavy and thick, you're not healthy. Your body's dehydrated, okay? So 100% take care of yourself, all right? And this is how to learn how to reinvent your salon. And you'll make better decisions when you feel better about yourself. 100% take care of your health. More than ever today than ever before. And wash your hands. I wash my hands every 20 seconds. Maybe, like after I'm done with this presentation, I'll go and I'll wash my hands. I try to wash my hands each and every time. Try not to touch your face if you can. Those two things are big factors, Next, the third thing is 100% take care of your customer, and then 100% take care of your employees and your team. Okay, so let me go down it again. So 100% take care of yourself. Number 2, take care of your health. Number 3, 100% take care of your customer. That's important. We went over all that. And number 4, take care of your employees and your team. I think that's really, really important. All right, before I give you the last bullet point, I want to let you know that next week is going to be the 7th series. And I am going to be doing Book Solid and the ultimate guide to getting and keeping clients. That's really important. Book Solid. I'm going to go over 2 wheels. I'm going to go over your potential, and I'm going to go over how to become Book Solid. And I'm going to go over every single one of them. And I'm going to indicate how you can become Book Solid. And then number 8, I'm calling it Rescue. And there'll be all of the 7 series that I've talked about the last 7 weeks. and I'm taking the best of each one of them, and I'll point them out to you, and I will do the best of the best, just to do a recap for those of you that maybe want to hear it again, or you want to see it for the first time, but they'll be the best of the best out of the 8 series, okay? I want to share with you some books, and you can share some books as well. I'd love to find out what you're reading, and I can get them and I can read them. But one of the books, there's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 books here that I want to share with you. Okay, first I want you to read this book. It's called, I hope you can see it. It's called You Are the Message. Okay, getting what you want by being who you are. Roger Ailes, probably one of the best books I've ever read. He was a communicator on a national TV show, but I want you to read this. If you can see, as I read this book, I highlighted certain things, certain points that I really stand out. I always read with a highlighter. So it's not a thick book. It only has about 210 pages in it, but you are the message. Getting what you want by being who you are. Roger, Ailes. So this is a really good book for you to read. Now, this next guy, John Gordon, really simple reading. I think in this book alone, I think there is, there's 100 and maybe 120 pages. So there's only 2 books here that I want you to read in the beginning. You can buy, or I shouldn't say that, don't buy, but you can buy the whole series. So the first one that I want you to read is called The Carpenter. And I really want you to read this book. This is an excellent book. The story about the greatest success strategies of all. Okay? It's forwarded by Ken Blanchard. Now, you know who Ken Blanchard is. I had the opportunity to meet Ken and speak with him at the World Leaders Conference. I think it was right here. It was in Florida, Palm Beach, Florida, at the convention center. What a wonderful man. He wrote over 60 books. He wrote Who Sold Your Cheese, Raven Fans. He wrote. He's excellent author. But John Gordon, The Carpenter. I don't even know how much this is. I think it's like 20, 25 bucks. But really good book to read. And then he has another book out, No Complaining Rule, Positive Ways to Deal with Negativity at Work. I would highly recommend that you read this book by John Gordon. No Complaining Rule. Okay, can you see it? No Complaining Rule by John Gordon. He has several books out. So these are the 2 that I want you to read. Okay, and it's real simple reading. And then this man, he's passed away recently. I think it was worth $750 million of it to his wife. Jack Welch. And he has several books out. But this book here called Winning, or Straight from the Gut, or The Real MBA. He wrote this with his wife, Suzanne. But I want you to start with this book. No other management book will ever be needed when you get this book. This guy is responsible for making the most millionaires in any Fortune 500 company. But he really talks about how well you treat your employees. Okay? Jack Welch, the name of the book is called Winning. No other management book will be needed if you buy this book and you read it. Now, I don't want you to buy it. If you can look at this book, you can see where I highlighted everything and I tagged everything in this book. It's been a while since I opened this up. But you can see in this book how I wrote things down and put things in this book. Okay? So Jack Welch with Susie Welch. Okay? They wrote that book MBA called Winning. And then the last book that I want you to read is called Delivering Happiness, The Path to Profits, Passion, and Purpose by Tony Hatch. Zappos. Okay? And this is a great book that I want you to read. 10 reasons why you should read this book. And on the back, they give you the 10 reasons why you should read this book. So in this book, it's called Delivering Happiness, Zappos.com. If you're ever in Las Vegas, I went twice. Okay, it's in the old Justice Building. It's a great organization, and they give you a tour of it, and it was awesome. Okay, this book is funny, true, important, and useful. Just like Tony Hsieh. I heard him speak about 3 years ago, Phoenix, Arizona. He was wonderful. He told his story. So there you have it. I wanted to share these books with you. I don't know if there's any books that you can share with me, because I would buy them and I would read them as well. And I think that's the name of the game, to read as many books as you possibly can. Even if you read 1 or 2 pages, highlight it. I mean, I know we don't like to read. We like to look at the pictures. I was the same way. A long time to be a good reader. But good leaders are good readers. And I think that's important. Lastly, this coronavirus will pass. Let's stay strong and continue to run our business and run yourself. And that's the name of the game. So I want to leave you with that, and then to learn how to invent your salon, because take it slowly, pay attention, do the right things. You know, put the mask on, put your gloves on, okay, have gel up at your reception desk. You decide, you know, depends on what city that you're in, what state that you're in, is all going to decide it. Okay, you take care, and I will see you next week. Don't forget, Book Solid, which is going to be May 19th at 11 a.m. If some of you are back to work at 11 a.m., just text me or Facebook me and let me know what's the best time for you. But I'm planning on doing the May 19th at 11 a.m. Book Solid, okay? And then the last series, like I indicated to you, is going to be called Rescue, and that's going to be the following week, okay, which is going to be the 26th. If that needs to change, we can change the time in that, so all of you can get a chance to see what I have to say. And if not, then you can go back and see it again and again and again. So once again, I greatly appreciate all of you spending the time with me and listening to what I have to say. Remember, this is just my opinion. Been doing this for 47 years, so a lot of it is really stuck. A lot of it has really worked. And I want you to do the same thing in a very, very short period of time. I want you to condense decades into days. One click of the button. And I'm here for each and every one of you. So if you have a question, I will respond to you, and let me know if there's something that I can help you with. Okay? Until next time, live with passion, live strong, and make sure that you're constantly and continuously going to the next level. Talk to you later. Have a great day. Have a great week. See you all next week. Bye-bye.